Okay. So, I'm gonna turn this down here really quick. I have an assignment that is... I don't know exactly when it's due, because our teacher is pretty lax, and I kind of appreciate that. It's giving me time to sit down, do whatever I want, and now it's like the last day of the weekend, and so I'm going to spend some time figuring some stuff out. So I'm supposed to be writing about a 4-page essay about an ethical dilemma. And she gave us this packet, and I haven't really opened it to like delve deep into like what her examples are, topics that we could choose to write on. But I'm trying to find something that's very personal. And at first I was thinking about possibly writing about, and I'll just be open and honest, about pleasing oneself, like masturbation. That's, I'm sure I could probably put that into like an ethical dilemma. But then I thought about something else, and I literally just thought about it. And I had to make a video because my mind was like going so fast that I didn't have time to really like write it or look for a pen or whatever. So anyways, let's get to the point. Thieving. Okay, stealing. I used to be a thief. And I'm sorry, I'm smiling because I'm laughing at how I've evolved and how I've grown from that. I used to be a thief. I used to steal Pokemon cards back in the day. And I'm one of those people that had a really guilty conscience. I didn't stop there, though. I went on to steal PlayStation games, and I was scolded once I brought it up to my family, to my father and my uncle, who is also like a dad. His extended family, so he's not even related to me, but it's still something very, he's still very close. Anyways, so thievery, okay, thieving, I didn't stop there, and I wish I kind of would have, but at the same time, I think I learned some things, not just from that, but from my my thieving from that point forward. And let's just turn that off. How about that? So I'm trying to think of like how to like really get to my point. The last time I remember stealing was when I was hurting for money, and it wasn't like I wasn't stealing anything that wasn't beneficial to my health, because I stole from a grocery store. I stole food. And this was some time ago. This was the better part of, I want to say, like...
SugarCooked/Aya has connected.
2 years ago? Give or take, I want to say. Yeah, about 2 years ago. And, I'm not saying that, because once you're a thief, I can almost guarantee you that person is always a thief. So I'm basically saying that, yes, I am always going to be considered a thief, but it comes to a degree. Like, if you mature and you actually can branch away from something and realize that there is a wrongdoing, a wrong act that you are doing or have done, you can mature from that. And I really do believe that that's where I've kind of gotten to. Realizing that it's a fault, it's something that you aren't supposed to do, it's morally, it's ethically incorrect, and I guess what I'm getting to is that there's a difference between thieving and manipulation. Okay, I think my moral and ethical dilemma is going to be on the power of the mind and how manipulating situations can be ethical. Like, how do I put this? I'm not wealthy by any means, okay? And a lot of times, I will tell my own friends no. Like I say, well, they say, hey, come out, we're going to go bowling, we want to do this, we want to do that, we'd like to invite you. And and most often I have to say, I can't go because I can't, foot the bill, or I can't, provide for myself in what I know that I'd be doing that evening, which is bowling, pool, maybe even drinking, whatever it is that we're going to be doing, eating, dinner. Okay, so there's things that I wouldn't be able to pay for, on any given night or whatever. Now, that isn't always the case. I can, foot my own bill, some of the time. But more often than not in my history, I have not been able to do so. So, the problem that I have is that I have such good friends. Yeah, that's a problem, right? Where they offer to provide for the evening. They're like, well, we offered, so why not, provide for you as well? And obviously I try to fight that, saying, whatever it is that I would say, and I know I've said it multiple times, but it to me it doesn't feel right. Always being provided for, and I'm really trying to branch away from that, because in my opinion it's almost like stealing, because you're manipulating and I'm not saying that I manipulate. What I'm saying is that I question my own self. Okay, I question. I question my ability to observe, because I have been able to predict things. And it almost feels like I'm stealing. And so it's really kind of hard to explain. I used to work for a good friend of mine, at a sushi place. And there were times where I would go in just to hang out. I would write, I would have some tea, I would just hang out. But I couldn't, buy a meal, lunch, dinner, whatever it was. And I could tell that he was going to do something. I could see it in his mannerisms. I could see it in his actions. It didn't happen all the time. But my friend, he would be making something, and I was pretty sure he didn't have any orders. Okay, so it was like lunchtime or whatever. I was in between shifts, or I was going home for the day. And I was stopping off, and I would be there, and he made me food that I didn't order. No one else ordered. And he said, here. And I could tell that he knew that I wasn't going to be buying anything. And I could tell by his mannerisms that I knew something was coming to me. Now, I try not to be observant, just because I feel like an ass when I over-observe and I actually do know what's coming. And I think that that's what my moral dilemma is going to be, is the power of the mind. The power of observation and knowing knowing, I guess, how to manipulate situations. Like, and again, I don't think I manipulate, but I know that if you think it, you have put that energy out there, that kind of aura, that it's almost like I would see it as like a shockwave of just, not telepathy, like it's just a pulse of emitted energy in my opinion as to how I can possibly explain this. But if you think I want this, boom, it's fucking shockwave that goes out into the cosmos, okay, and basically is decided whether or not it comes back to you. But if you conjure the thought that it can be conceived, and I think that is it is so powerful that it has the potential to be negative, if that makes sense. Like I could say, oh well, in your mind, okay, I'm thinking this. It could be like, well, it would be really nice if my friend did something for me. You shouldn't think like that. In my personal opinion, you should never think like that. Okay, and it actually took me a while to get out of that, because if I recollect correctly, I used to think that, and so when people offer me things, I'm just so against it, because I'm like, do I need it? Do I need it? Do I need whatever it is that's being socially involved or whatever? Do I need it? Do I need it to be happy? Do I need it to actually hang out with these people? Most often? No. Nope. So, excuse me. So yeah, I think that my mind is going to be what my ethical dilemma is about. The power of thought and the manipulation of such through ways of distinct observation from your surroundings. I think that's what my ethical dilemma is going to be about. So, I just need to put that into words, 4 pages long, and see how that goes. But I think that if I can basically put my story on paper, okay, that's what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be like backstory, and I'm going to have to talk about the ethical dilemma that is my story on thieving and the maturing from thieving, the essentially thieving of thought, or manipulation or conjuring of events from thought, which is, in my personal opinion, just like thieving or manipulation to obtain. Yes. So, I have more thinking to do. I have more, I guess, ironing out to do, because this is definitely something I think I'm going to go with. So, stay tuned, and I'm probably going to divulge this information once I actually start typing again. So, enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was kind of long, but this is how I do things. I have to iron things out in my own head with all of you listening. So anyways, ciao. This is Skattosans. Do what you're gonna do. Ciao. Peace. Bon voyage. Arrivederci. Do svidania. Sayonara.